This is Pete Moore on Halo Talks NYC. I have the pleasure of having Rickard and Erik, our international friends running Eleiko strength equipment. And we are going to do this podcast today together. We're going to set the bar high. We're going to be kind to each other. We're going to do more of what makes us all stronger. That is the abridged version of the Eleiko mission statement. So guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. So we had one of your chiefs in the U.S. In our Halo Academy, Hillis Lake. We think very highly of him. He's an avid listener to our podcast, so I wanted to give him a quick shout out and thank him for setting us up. So you guys want to just kind of talk about how the company got started, and that kind of was built out of a personal frustration, and then you guys have both interesting backgrounds that I want to kind of dovetail into as we go through the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eleiko, we're a Swedish-based company. So and we've been in the industry for more than 60 years doing making strength equipment. And the company was founded actually earlier than that, back in the 1920s. So making electrical appliances. But in the 50s, there was a weightlifter working in a factory, and he at the time saw a need to make a weightlifting bar that could last an entire competition. So that was really the entry into the fitness and the health and the sports industry. Developing the bar at that time, launched it at the World Championships in Stockholm, and since then we've been supplying the international sports competitions with strength equipment, weightlifting, powerlifting equipment. Over 1,000 world records, more than 40 world championships in both powerlifting and weightlifting. So we come from professional lifting, and has moved into more of the fitness and the health industry in the last, I would say, 20 years.
Great. And Rickard, you spent some time in the hospitality industry worldwide. So talk about your background.
Yeah, I have. I mean, that's my background in operations, and like I think Erik said, I mean, it's been in our family. The company's been in our family for around 25, close to 30 years now, and but I didn't really have an idea of going into the family business at the time. I wanted to get. I was, and I still am very passionate about customer service and caring for people, and I started my career in hotels. I've done everything and you can possibly imagine from an hotel. Continued my education there. Went to Cornell University, where I took my master's in hospitality, and focused specifically on health and wellness and spa resort. I was very passionate about destination spa concepts, where people go and make transitional lifestyle changes in over a number of weeks or something like that. That led me to pursuing a couple of options, pursuing a few opportunities in Asia. So I was in Thailand for a couple of years with a company called Six Senses, where I was spa and fitness director. Moved on to China with the Ritz-Carlton for a few years as well. I was opening spa resorts in China and managing fitness centers. So my experience has been on the operation side. So I have that. I understand the challenges that a lot of operators are looking into. So, and then moved into
what's interesting.
Go ahead.
No, I think what's interesting about your background is, we preach to the health and fitness operators that, they own a health club and they have a relationship with these members. A lot of the reason why those members are there is because they have a personal connection with someone. And when you go into a Four Seasons, you're going to a Ritz-Carlton, I don't know what kind of software database they have, or they just have people that have been ingrained to actually care, or they started out caring and now they just got even better at it. I was just in the Fairmont Hotel, and there's people that work there that say, "Hey, Mr. Moore, how you doing?" I'm like, I've never met you, I haven't spoken to you. So somebody told them that guy in 19 is Mr. Moore, and he works with the group at Exhale. So the amount of work they do, kind of on the traditional CRM side, if we were able to do that in the health club industry, maybe your background maybe leads you to think that we can do that. Maybe having your products in there, but knowing that that's how you think, has some connectivity.
I agree 100% with you, Peter. I mean, it's so important, and especially in I mean, Ritz-Carlton had this, the 3 steps of service. The first one was a warm and sincere greeting. Use the guest's name, because there's nothing more important to anybody than their name. And if you're able to have a system for this, because I mean, I myself, I'm a horrible person at remembering names, but Ritz-Carlton had a system for it of how to actually remember someone's name. And you're looking it up and you're constantly using it. It creates a very unique experience then, I think. And it's absolutely something that we should be much better at in the fitness industry as well.
Yeah. So Erik, what was it like for you guys to feel that there was a succession plan, growing up around the business, and then, knowing eventually you were going to take it over? Talk to us about that. There's entrepreneurs that listen to this that either, it is a family business and they want to keep it a family business, even though every day, we're dealing with private equity fund does this, venture capital fund does this. It's like, yeah, you know what? We don't answer to anybody but ourselves. We kind of like it. We got a business. It's profitable. It employs a lot of people, kind of leave us alone. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, no, that's right. And our father, who ran the business for quite some years before I took over the CEO position, he had a lot of passion for the business, of course, and he wanted us to get involved, but it was not as direct, really. He had a prior background in different family companies who did not transition well to the next generation. In our case, we are 3 brothers now that are operational in the company. So my background is a lot in finance and investment banking and M&A, more the type of background you have, I presume. So I have more of a general manager background, and our other brother, who is not on this call, he is a developer and he programs and he builds a lot of systems. So we had quite different backgrounds and competences, and I think as it just evolved, I think it was quite natural that we also took different positions in the company. And I think as one got involved, the other one started to get quite tempted as well. And I think now it's just fantastic that we are three brothers here, and there are many more other family members as well in different capacities as well in the company. So it wasn't a certainty that any of us would get into the business, but I think once we started to really see what we could make possible with the company, I think it was very natural.
Yeah. And how are the dynamics, Rickard, from your standpoint, everyone agreeing, or do you guys have a system in place for strategic direction, or does it kind of come naturally?
I mean, that's a very good question. I think what we have is an ability to be very, very open in our conversations. We can be very honest with each other, and we can be very direct. And I think that's very, very. That's very useful, because you're able to have conversations that you can't have with everybody. You're able to have these open conversations. I mean, at the end of the day, Erik is the CEO, so he makes the final decisions, and we have accepted that, even though we sometimes can disagree on things. But we absolutely make sure that Erik has the lead role and makes the final decisions, because that's very important, I think, for a company. At the end of the day, we obviously try and make sure that we all agree on things that we move forward on, and we appreciate the ability to share information within everybody, between us as well, so we all quite updated to things there.
So when you think about barbells and you think about plates, the word innovation or technology doesn't kind of like fall off my tongue, right? However, from the actual whatever the composites are, whatever the strength of the materials that you're using, and the fact that you're testing the limits of the physics related to these composites. Talk to us about actually not really buying a barbell that we just kind of put through a CAD drawing and it comes out the other side. So talk about that, because I feel like there's a lot of innovation. I was working with somebody the other day on using graphene as a composite, which weighs like 1/10 the weight of other bicycle materials. So talk to us about how you guys think about quality, how you think about technology when you're moving a lot of iron, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, as you say, I mean, it's easy to think that it's a product that might not be it might not be possible to develop it as much. But I mean, for us, I mean, quality has always been at the core of what we do, and we've been supplying the world's strongest people for so long, and it has been pushed as part of that effort. So quality has been essential. But I think what we also want to really make happen is to bring design into strength equipment, and I think that's been an area that has been lacking for many years. And I think what we strive for in the development team at the company is really to make and create the ultimate lifting experience for people. And we think that is done by creating just best in class, fantastically precise equipment that basically feels as if it is part of your body. So that is the driving sort of design principle for us. And then, of course, I think you can also not neglect the fact that we're also part of inspiring people in the facility to get on board with this and try it and develop as lifters. So I think that there are different things that we think about, but we have a couple of very clear principles in terms of designing for top performance, but also for inspiration. Yeah.
So one of the obviously, everything's kind of moved back towards strength training and functional training. It's been a very proliferation here, and I think across the country and clearly across the world. When you take a look at some of what people Instagram the most, somebody told me that Olympic squats are like one of the most Instagrammable things that people do in the gym, along with like higher dose saunas and things of that nature. When you think about the people that are using your equipment, you kind of have like a cult following from a professional standpoint. Now I feel like it's kind of filtered down into, like some 30-year-old woman now is on the squat machine, which was never on, 15, 20 years ago. So how do you think about, I know you do some color changes to the plates, but is there a slant towards, I want to make this co-ed, or do you feel like, it's already that in that direction?
No, I mean, I think what's really fantastic with the development in the industry in the last, say, 10, 15 years, and I think CrossFit has been really a key igniter of that, is that, I mean, typically it was a male-dominated type of activity. But I mean, the real growth in strength and lifting has really been among women. And as you say, elderly are now lifting. Young people are lift. So it's really been a massive shift in the type of people who engage in this type of training. And I mean, we think that's amazing. And we also see that the whole ideal around fitness and what you strive for has changed. It's much more focused on performance and what you can do with your body than only focused on your looks. And it's just a fantastic thing. And I think, of course, we try and cater for that in our design. I think typically you can probably look at our products being more, if you say, of a Scandinavian design. And that might cater more for some of these groups that have really come into the market and engaged with this type of training.
How do you this might also be something that we can ping Hillis on, but from when you look at a big rollout into a large health club chain, and obviously they send out an RFP, and they're looking at the price, but I've everything I've ever done, when you pay 30% less, you get 30% less quality. Like it's just like a complete correlation between, one, the company needs to make money that you're working with, right? They're a partner. They're not really, a vendor, and it's a last dollar deal. So how do you position Eleiko as the highest premium quality, but also, make sure people understand, yeah, you can go, but that barbell is going to break at some point, and the cost of replacing it is actually the cost differential between what I'm offering you now. So like, save yourself the hassle.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that's always a conversation you have, but I mean, I think that I think that first and foremost, I mean, like Erik said, we build best-in-class products. It's just products that will last. But I mean, I want to go back to also, I mean, what's important is also just the people behind it, the people that you have that supports it, because they need to know, people need to feel, I mean, I know you speak very highly of trust. You know, you need to be, you have to trust people that you do business with. And if that, otherwise you shouldn't be doing business with them. I think that's where having people like Hillis Lake, who is like a customer that deals with him knows that he will stand by this product no matter what happens, and he has built up that trust over the past 30 years probably. So someone who deals with him knows that we will stand by it, and I would say that goes for the whole company. I mean, I personally and Erik, we stand by our products 100%, and we are here as well. So I think that's, I mean, from an entrepreneurial perspective, I think it's just important for it has to flow everywhere from the top, as the entrepreneur have to be there and show that that a customer is willing to put their trust in us. Everywhere else, everywhere down to the people that answers the phones or packs the products or making sure that doing the installation, all those things. So I think it's a lot of it is, I think, is based on trust, and if you can just show that, the price becomes a little bit of a different conversations to happen.
Yeah, interesting. As you think about trust and you think about your clients, one of the themes that I've been trying to infuse over the last several months is that when you do reopen and you are back at full capacity, you effectively have a showroom for people that actually want to buy home equipment. That could be, a treadmill, it could be an elliptical, it could be a bench and weights. Do you see the future as, and obviously Hillis would play a role in this. So Hillis, don't worry about your job security right now. As I mentioned this idea, we're not trying to cut you out. But, if you put a QR code on every piece of equipment and say, hey, if you want to buy this, put your phone up, and with your camera and go here, and it takes you directly to the site. And, the club basically becomes the, affiliate. Do you see that happening, or do you think things kind of go back to normal and maybe people try to push away the phone more than embrace the phone when they're working out?
No, I think that's definitely something that is going to happen, and I think we're already having those types of discussions as well with our partners and customers. So I think probably that, and hopefully that is one of the big shifts here. And I think that the health and fitness industry will really take the step out and fully integrate with the rest of society. And I think the home is one place where the club can definitely play a role. And I think there are other venues as well, like the corporate wellness area, like the residential part, like the outdoor space, working together with cities. So I think this is something that I think as an industry, and I think it will benefit all of us. I think it's definitely something that we should look at. How can we create a much more integrated and comprehensive fitness experience? And I think it's good in that sense also to be a little bit less protective as well. I think this is where you need to be open and try to really move fast, try and figure out how we can grow the bigger pie here.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the bigger pie, as you think about companies that are trying to get acceptance of their products, let's say like CBD oil as an example, like it's a new use of the marijuana CBD for inflammation or for help people go to sleep. So there's groups that are in that industry that are now trying to basically like spread the word. Like they'll fund like a case study or they'll fund like education. It's obvious now that strength training is really the only way you're going to change your body. And it's a better use of time than, sitting on a treadmill for 30 minutes. You could do that also. But if you actually want to see physical change, you got to lift weights, right? So do you feel the need to help kind of proliferate that story, or do you feel like that's happening on its own?
I think, yes, you need to lift the weights to get stronger. So I think that's, but the way the world, changes these days, you never know what will come around the corner. But we of course have a very strong belief that there are some basic principles here that will last for a very long time. But I also think it's very important to ask. I mean, we are in a way an established company in the industry for so long, and we've had a core product that's been always in demand. But naturally, we need to stay very in tune as well with what's happening.
Do you sponsor weightlifters? Are you involved on the Olympic side? You know, or is it mostly just an equipment provider, or have you infused yourself in that echelon?
Typically we've been mostly working with the different championships and international and continental and national federations, and then we do of course engage with the lifters as well as ambassadors. But that's definitely an area where I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to do even more, especially when home and commercial and performance are merging in such an exciting way as it's happening right now.
And from a standpoint of someone has a new club that they're building, or they're trying to retrofit a racquetball court, or something inside their club that they're trying to repurpose, have you gotten to the point where you feel like, okay, I'm going to actually sell you, like, here's a kit for 3,000 square feet, or here's like a blueprint for 5,000. I'm basically, creating the environment, and that's part of the sale? Or do people usually come to you and say, I've got my own ideas and, I just want to buy the equipment from you?
Yeah, I think if I can answer that, I think that we traditionally have been much more focused on equipping full facilities in Europe and primarily Scandinavia, actually. But that is changing now as we feel like we are a complete provider for the entire free weight area, with benches and racks and all the free weight equipment. And it's something that, it's obviously taking a little bit of time to build that up, but we feel like we're in a very much better position right now to be able to provide a full solution. And I think that, to your question here, I think you see a little bit on both spectrums. Some buyers are very sophisticated; they know exactly what they want, and some buyers just want to be told and kind of educated on what would be the best products for them. So I think it's it's really is a very it's a conversational. It's a conversation that needs to be held with every customer. Every customer is different here, and we basically are able to tailor whatever it is that they want, I think.
So, Erik, what are some of the initiatives or products that you're focused on in 2021 that our entire audience should know about?
Yeah, we are focused on really developing our free weights and stationary strength segments. So we have some very interesting new products coming out in both those categories. So you will see emerging during the year a full Eleiko strength station, which basically captures everything you need to conduct the type of strength training that we really are passionate about. So we have news in both the bars and the dumbbells, and we have new plates coming out. We have a really exciting line of racks as well in the making. So we have some very exciting news, actually.
That's great. And the last question I have, just because you guys are both entrepreneurs running an established business, we did a case study last night at our Halo Academy, and said to the group, you've got X amount of dollars. You're the new management team of LA Fitness. You're the new management team of Zoom. Like, what do you do with the money? When you guys think about entrepreneurs and like running at, as fast a pace as you can, and the cycle of change, I was saying to somebody the other day, like you used to get like a disc with like, Microsoft Office, and then they had like a year to fix it. And then you come out with another version a couple of years later. Now everything's moving faster. So do you see like your urgency of R&D development in your own minds is like, we got to move faster because there's a lot of other people moving fast and there's technology changes? You say, and then my dad used to run an equipment company. Did you guys do any food service equipment back in the day at Eleiko?
Yeah, we did. We did different waffle irons and.
So my dad was the CEO of a company called Cecilware, which made beverage equipment companies. So I used to go around, the floors, cappuccino machines, coffee machines, fryers, grills. So I know Eleiko from back in the day with that. And I feel like the pace of change and the pace of like new versions is now 5 times what it was before. So do you guys enjoy that? Or you're like, hey, think everything's moving a little too fast. Let's actually like get a product. Let's educate people. Let's get them to buy it before like we come out with the next version.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun. Speed is fun. And the movement is fun. And so it's definitely not something like, I mean, we don't think like that. It's a funny question though, that or the exercise that you mentioned, because we've, on how to allocate the pot of money that you might have to invest. It's one of the questions we actually, between the brothers in the family, we ask that to ourselves every now and then. Where do we now spend, this X amount of dollars?
Right.
So and that's probably where we fight the most on where to actually spend it. But R&D and product development and design and innovation is the biggest one of those. But I would also really, mention the need for a solid and reliable supply chain these days.
Yeah,
that is critical, and we've seen it especially during the pandemic when the demand and the mix of products shifted so fast, so rapidly. So it's just important to also have supply chain in mind as you grow.
Gotcha.
I would just also kind of add to that also, I mean, the importance of execution right now, because things are moving so fast. Sometimes it's so easy to sit around and talk about different things, but execution is just so important. You're going to be run over if you don't move. That's just the reality of it. You got to move. Really.
Awesome. So do you guys have either a family quote or a phrase that you guys love that sticks with you, or you guys say in a meeting, or give us one for our quote library?
Well, you actually started off with our sort of corporate motto, which is really to set the bar high, be kind, and do more of what makes you stronger. But otherwise, it's just to let's do it. I mean, we've been through a couple of really, we've had some setbacks. We had a big fire the other, some years back, and different things as well. But we keep constantly focused on never standing still. So the movement is actually a very present theme within our conversations.
Yeah, Richard.
No, I actually would say the same thing. The movement is key for us. Never sitting still, and I mean, we're an old company. Yet we are incredibly entrepreneurial in spirit, really. So I mean, you don't have to be a young company to go entrepreneurial. I mean, we've been in business for 60 years, and we still feel like we're excited waking up in the morning and helping people get better and stronger and faster and feeling better and all those things. So, and you can only do that by moving forward, constantly moving forward.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was great having you guys on. Look forward to meeting you in person at a trade show when we're allowed to all socialize again. And in the interim, we're going to be a mouthpiece for Eleiko, and look forward to doing some things with you guys. We're going to do some education series. So let's start working together. We talk the same language when it comes to changing the world. Our mission here is we want to eradicate loneliness, diabetes, and obesity. And, it's by empowering and making sure that groups like yours proliferate and make change. So great to have you on. Thanks for joining us, and look forward to big things and getting stronger together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
As we continue to build our Halo Talks email notification database, want to offer you a free $10 instant gift card from our friends at Promotion Vault. Also, to show you how easy it is to offer your members and prospects and clients the ability to get desired actions out of them and reward them in real time, go to halotalks.com, put your email address into the pop-up box, see how it works, get a free $10 gift card from us, and keep listening and making everybody great.